I'm out here in, where am I? I'm in Minnetonka, Minnesota at the Ridgedale Mall, and they got a Dick's Sporting Goods here called Dick's House of Sports. This is one of the biggest stores I've ever been to as far as a Dick's Sporting Goods. And I've never been to a house of sport, so I want to check it out and see what the difference is. As you can see behind me, they got a soccer field, basketball hoop, even a scoreboard and a track. So it's a lot going on just on the outside of this store. But let's go inside and see what they got, because I want to check out the bikes and see if they have any different bikes than they would at, say, a normal Dick's Sporting Goods. I just realized they have a Planet Fitness connected to the Dick's Sporting Goods, which is a gym that I'm actually a member of. Maybe we'll get a workout in after this. All right, we're walking up to the entrance. This is called House of Sports, so we should have some pretty good options in here when it comes to bikes. But we'll check out some other stuff as well since we're in here. Why not? We walk in and I already see the biggest shoe I've ever seen in my life. I think that's the bike repair station over there right when you walk in. Super convenient, I guess. And I would love to have these chairs in my house. This is pretty awesome. I remember when I was younger, we didn't have wood bats like they got nowadays. They actually got real wood bats you can buy in the stores now. I don't know if this is every Dick's or just House of Sports, but this is an actual wood bat that I would use in the game. This is sick. This is crazy, man. These kids nowadays, they got it good as far as the options that they have with bats and gloves and stuff. It's so funny. I didn't realize Mookie Betts was on that picture until I was editing this video. Me and Mookie played back in the Red Sox organization together, and we were actually roommates for a little bit. So we still hang out here and there when he comes into town to play, and we actually hung out a few days ago. So it's always funny to see him inside stores. Oh, here's that torpedo bat. This is cool. They've been talking about this a lot lately with the Yankees. I've never seen it in person though. But let's go find the bikes. I had to take a trip down memory lane for a second. All right, we found the bikes. This is cool. We got a dude sitting on the bike. That's actually pretty awesome. All right, in my last video, we talked about the giant Talon. This is the one starting at $650, and this is in Dick's Sporting Goods House of Sport. Look at this price. Now, I cannot recommend this bike. Now, I talked about how the Talon was a lot better than the Marlin in the last video, but that was the Talon 1. This one is just unacceptable in my opinion. $650 and you get mechanical disc brakes. Come on, what are we doing? I don't want to talk bad about the bike or any bike in general, but are we still doing that now in 2025? Over $600 and you getting mechanical disc brakes. Now you do get a decent drivetrain and you get decent tires as far as the Kenda brand. Those are usually reliable, but you get quick release front and rear. You do get a one-by drivetrain, I will give it that, but these mechanical disc brakes, come on. You can get like some Shimano MT200s for like $60. I'm sure they could have done better than this. But as far as everything else, I mean, I guess it's worth it. I'm not even sure. I wouldn't recommend this bike at all, but let me know down below what you think about what you get for the price with this bike. I just talked up Giant and how great the value was, but in this store, they doing way too much. Look at this. $650 for this. And this also has mechanical disc brakes. I mean, come on. Like it's a 3-by drivetrain, which is not the end all be all to have a 1-by, but this is just ridiculous. I try not to be negative, but at the same time, come on. I know there might be other factors that contribute to this price, but Yeah, that's doing too much. Oh my God, 1100. Come on, man. Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods, they doing too much. They doing way too much. Oh my goodness, you can't tell me this ain't sick though. This is super sick. I ride SE bikes, I have a fast ripper. I cannot believe they got SE bikes in Dick's Sporting Goods. This is awesome. How much is this thing? 300? Man, just because I really like SE bikes and I know how awesome they are, I feel like that's pretty decent price, especially for a kid. Now these brakes are like basically unusable, and it's only one brake on it. And that's funny because I only use one brake on my SE bike because I only need the rear, because I only do wheelies. So yeah, this one don't even have a front brake on it, just the rear brake. I don't know if I like that for a kid, especially when the brake comes to your knuckle. Look at this. Like, that's no, I mean, I guess it's decent, but no, I don't know. That's dangerous. I don't think I can recommend that unless the kid is super experienced. Now this bike is an e-bike, an electric mountain bike at $2,400. I still don't know if I can recommend that. I don't know what's going on with Dick's, but maybe those T words really had an effect on these prices, because I feel like these prices in here are out of control. There's no way I would recommend this. All right, now we're getting somewhere. This Nishiki Colorado is $599 with hydraulic Tektro disc brakes. I'm starting to wonder, did they overprice the Giants to get more attention on their in-house brand? I think Nishiki is Dick's Sporting Goods in-house brand. Let me know. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the only place I see these bikes. And these bikes are the only ones that make sense. Now you got a 1x drivetrain. That's a XLE. It looks like a 1x10 if I had to guess. And you got a XCM32 Suntour fork on here, which is a name brand fork. But the fact that you could get these hydraulic disc brakes that I trust, I really like these brakes, for less than the Giant. Yeah, maybe Dick's Sporting Goods is just setting up Giant for failure so you can come buy these because these things are cool. And these grips actually pretty sick. The color is cool, I like the color. Yeah, these Nishiki bikes, they looking good to me. I've never ridden one, but they look good. If I had to recommend any bike in Dick's today, it would definitely be these Nishikis. Even though I've never ridden them, just from the eye test and my first impressions of what I see versus the Giants, yeah, you get way better value. Now, I did notice something different from the gray one versus the black bike. I think they have different drivetrains. So that one is the XLE. I'm not sure if you can see it. And then on the black one, this is XCD. I'm not sure if those are the same or different, but I think those are the only two differences of these bikes, which is weird because everything else is the same other than that drivetrain and the grips. So you see these grips on the black one, and then you see these grips on the gray one. Different texture, different pattern. So maybe they just switch it up just a little bit for the different colors. I'm not sure. I like both the colors, but I think I like the gray a little better. But yeah, let me know if you know what's up with that drivetrain. They look like they got the same amount of gears. I would get one down, but I don't know if I feel like doing all of that. They might think I want to buy it. I don't want to get people's hopes up, which I would buy it if I was in the market for a bike. Kenda branded tires. Not bad for $5.99. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you have this bike, because I've never ridden one. Okay, I lied. They have the different brakes too. I'm not sure what brakes these are, but they are hydraulic disc brakes. But they're not Tektro. Let's see if I can see what they are. It just says mineral oil on them. No brand on them. But they feel good though. Let's see. The lever feels good. It feels like it's got some stopping power if you were to ride it. So it's kind of interesting that these bikes are the same price, but the components and a few other things are just different. It's very interesting. Let's see what it says. Colorado Comp mountain bike. Colorado Comp mountain bike. Nishiki. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe one is a year-old model and one is newer. I'm confused. I probably should ask somebody, but I wouldn't get my hopes up that they know either. This bike stuff can get real complicated sometimes. I still can't believe they have SE bikes in here. This is impressive. And it's called the Basher. That's a cool name. All right, they got some Muck Off stuff over here. Shout out to Muck Off for supporting the channel. We just started working together. I'm really excited to see what comes in the future, but they got Muck Off and Dick's Sporting Goods. That's awesome to see. They got a DHF in here. Let's go. 29 2.5. So that's cool that they sell Maxxis tires in here. Yeah, this store actually has a lot of unexpected things. I didn't realize they had Muck Off and Maxxis tires in here. That's a great option to have if you're looking for bike stuff. Here's all the helmets, bunch of different helmet options, different colors. They have some Smith helmets down here. Nice options to have in Dick's Sporting Goods. I actually own a few Smith helmets. The Smith Forefront 3 is the one I currently use. Make sure you check that out in the description. I really like that. It fits like a hat. So comfortable. But yeah, this is what we got at Dick's, and I'm really disappointed in the Giant thing, but I think that they set them up to make their in-house brands look better. I'm not sure, but those bikes are way overpriced. I'm being lazy. I'm taking the elevator back up. I just want to see what it's like. I've never been in an elevator inside of a Dick's Sporting Goods, so why not? I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty cool store. But those Giant bikes were way overpriced in my opinion. But the Nishikis, they were priced right in that sweet spot, I think, for what you get versus the money. But did Dick's intentionally do that? And does places like Walmart also intentionally do that? They overprice the other brands and put their own in-house brands at a reasonable price point on purpose to draw more attention to theirs. Let me know what you think about that, because those prices wasn't really making sense, especially how much you got for the Nishikis versus the Giants. After I just left a Giant dealer that had great Giant prices. Great Giant prices, that's funny. They had great prices on the Giant bikes. Let me know what you think. But I'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you think.